Chapter 37. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob's family line. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons, because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made an ornate robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him, and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them,
"Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it."
His brothers said to him,
"Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?"
And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers.
"Listen,"
he said,
"I had another dream, and this time the sun and moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me."
When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said,
"What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?"
His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind.
Let's look at 5 key lessons we can learn from this Bible passage. This passage introduces the story of Joseph and his brothers, and it contains several rich moral and spiritual lessons that we can apply to our personal conduct and relationships. The first lesson is the danger of favoritism. This we can learn from the actions of Jacob, the father of Joseph. Jacob openly favored Joseph over his other sons. This is shown through the ornate robe and his evident love towards Joseph. This sowed the seed of resentment and hatred among Joseph's brothers. Listen, favoritism, especially in families or groups, can lead to jealousy, bitterness, and conflict. In a group, fair and equal treatment fosters harmony. It is important to ensure this to avoid fatal outcomes. Even if you like one more than the other or the others, it is important not to make it too obvious. Lesson 2 is applying wisdom in sharing dreams and ambitions. This we can learn from Joseph and how he acted. Joseph shared his dreams, which were divine revelations, but particularly the second one, while perhaps an innocent act, came across as boastful and insensitive to his already resentful brothers. Even if we have God-given promises and successes, timing and tone matter. Joseph may have lacked discretion in sharing his dreams that implied superiority, especially with already hostile brothers. And when we read further, we will see what his brothers did to him. We must learn when to speak and when to stay silent, even with our loved ones and close relatives. The third lesson we can learn is the consequences of jealousy and hatred. This emanated from the first two, and we can learn this lesson from the action of Joseph's brothers. The brothers' intense hatred for Joseph stems from the first 2 lessons we talked about. Their father's favoritism and Joseph's dream, which suggests superiority over them. Lesson: jealousy, if left unchecked, can lead to destructive actions even with close relatives, as seen later when they sell Joseph into slavery. We should guard our hearts against envy and seek peace. We must be content and celebrate others' blessings rather than letting envy take roots in our hearts. Lesson number 4. Reflect before judging. Dreams and callings may not be immediately understood. This teaches the importance of thoughtful reflection rather than hasty judgment when confronted with bold claims or dreams. Allowing discernment over time, like Jacob, we should not dismiss them outright, but ponder on them and seek God's purpose. The 5th lesson we'll talk about is God's sovereignty in difficult situations. Though not in this passage, Joseph's brothers meant harm on him, but in subsequent chapters, God used their actions to fulfill his greater plan. The negative reactions from his family remind us that divine callings may face resistance, but staying faithful to God's purpose is crucial. This encourages perseverance in the face of misunderstanding or hostility. In summary, 1. Avoid favoritism in relationships, especially in groups and families. 2. Share victories humbly and consider how others may receive them. 3. Resist jealousy and instead celebrate others' blessings. 4. Reflect before judging. And 5. Trust that God can bring good out of unfair situation. Thank you for watching. Comments and suggestions are welcome. If you like my video, like and subscribe for more. Thank you.